Today's topic is entitled Worship Through Lament. But what is the prayer of lamentation? This is what I'm going to talk this evening. Sometimes we become overwhelmed and we want to cry out to God in sorrow, in anger. We have so many questions like, why God, these things is happening to me? Or why are you silent? Or God, are you still caring for me? um, there are questions like that, and at that moment sometimes and most of the times we don't feel the envy to pray, and but that moment is the moment we need to pray the most. And when we accept to offer our prayer, that prayer become a kind of a prayer of lamentation. It is a prayer deeply emotional where we are pouring out our hearts to God, and sharing Him our deepest concern. In the Bible, there are the book of Lamentation, which illustrate what is that kind of prayer. It is a collection of poetic laments expressing deep despair. The prophet Jeremiah is is expressing his distress regarding the situation of Jerusalem and the deportation. But as Christian, we are also asked to be joyful, to not complain, and to not murmur, being always joyful. But the prayer of lamentation is not complaining or murmuring. It is something deeper with God. In the Bible, we have other example of lamentation prayer, like Jesus, who made that kind of prayer when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane. He lifted with tears and the blood his agony before the God of heaven. We have also Jonas, who made that kind of prayer when he was in the belly of the fish. We had Jacob who fight with and against God during that night, and of course Jeremiah and so others. So the prayer of lamentation is not complaining, but God is welcoming that kind of prayers and is even inviting us to have that kind of prayer. For Lamentation chapter 2, verse 19 says, pour out your heart like water in the presence of God. And in Isaiah 43, verse 26, it says, put me in remembrance. Let us plead together that you may be justified. So God is inviting us to plead with Him, to share with Him, to discuss with Him the deepest concern we can have in our heart. So the prayer of lamentation is first of all offering is first of all an act of worship. Instead of sharing our deepest concern or deep questions to human beings, we are turning to God to search help and strength. And our prayer of lamentation is then an act of faith, where we acknowledge our pain, our sorrows, our doubt, and we turn our attention to the one who is the living source of life, of hope and comfort. And at that moment, uh, sometimes taking time alone and being in the presence of God, we can be afraid of that because it's a really intimate moment and overwhelming emotionally overwhelming moment. But some people can be afraid of being alone with self and with God, and that's why many are not experiencing that kind of lamentation in prayer. But when we experience this prayer, it is a moment where we can truly open our heart, ask our deepest question, share to God our anger, our things that is revolting us, And we know that at that moment, God is listening to us. He is not judging, criticizing, condemning us. He is welcoming us in our with our questions, with our state of minds, with our struggles. And in that moment, we are not alone. We are in the intimacy of God. We are in His very close presence. And even the enemy cannot come and disturb you. It is like you are in the palm of God, telling Him your deepest questions, your sorrow, your pain, your sufferings, and God is there in this close place with you to listen you and to give you comfort, hope. Uh, it is a wonderful experience that brings us close to God. And more we experience the lamentation in our prayers, and more closer we can come to God because it gives us strength, peace, comfort, and it is really helpful in our spiritual journey with God. We can come closer to God and know more about Him, being in that state of mind and prayer. As we reveal our the things that has been hurted to us, or the things for which we are confused, or when we ask God the unanswered question, God, in His presence, is comforting through His Spirit, is healing, renewing our perspective and the view of thinking the situation or the problems. He provides hope, and we can recognize that God is Almighty, is sovereign in all the things, and is caring, is loving, is with us. And I would like to share with you an experience I had in that prayer of lamentation and how God answered to me at that moment. So that would be a practical experience I had with the lamentation. One day, I was visiting a woman in India, and the words she told during the conversation was so hurting that I was not able to contain my tears in front of her, even despite of my efforts. She tried to ask sorry, etc., but I left her home in tears. I was cycling on the way to home, and I was so tearing that I was not even able to see the road. And at that moment, I just pray God to lead me safe at home without any danger and accident, because of the tears I could not control. I was not able to see the road. But God led me safely at home. And once at home, I knelt and curled up like a fetus to pray. It's a position I used to take sometimes spontaneously when I pray, because that manner I can nestle in the palm of my God and being more close to Him. And I really love to be in that place. And there I burst out, sobbing, pleading God to protect me and to keep me only in the inner side of His palm. I was not able to pray, nor to utter a clear word. I was just tearing so much. And I was repeating, please God, keep me in the palms of your hand. Take what I am not able to express with words, but please keep me in the palms of your hand. And after a moment of tearing, without understanding how, I felt a real peace in my heart. I felt good and warmed. I smiled and said with heartfelt gratitude, wow, this is a hug from my God. Thank you, my God. And at that moment, I realized that God took me into His arm with love, and He comforted me. And once I was comforted, I prayed more earnestly and more quietly, uh, telling the things to God. And remember that God is always there to hug you when you need it the most. And after that episode, I received a song from a friend, and in listening the song, the tears again come in my eyes, and the tears expressing all my questionings were transformed into happy tears. For I got the assurance that God Himself was taking my hand in His and saying, like, take nothing, I am caring for everything. And it was indeed the lyrics of words of a song in French we have in our French hymnal that came to my mind. And I'm reading to you the songs, the lyrics in English, to show you how, after that experience, God came to strengthen me. The song says, take nothing for the journey, I've provided for everything. Don't worry. Take nothing, but take courage. It is the only thing you need. I'm carrying of your luggages, of heavy stones and of your cry. I'm carrying of your clouds, of the storms and of the rain. Bear only fruits, leave all the rest, keeping the faith, spreading the life. Open your eyes, I'm receiving you. Lift up your head and keep smiling. Take nothing for the journey, I've provided for everything. Don't worry, I take nothing, but take courage, it's the only thing you need. Do cast away your impression, throw all your why on the ocean. Do sing again your hope with faith. You know what? I know well your voice. Relaxed wrinkles on your forehead, increasing at times passing as time passing. Then you will laugh and smile again at the sun as the sunshine as a flower. Take nothing for the journey, I've provided for everything. Don't worry, take nothing, but take courage. It is the only things you need. I would like to tell you something you already have heard from me. I assure you, any regret, if you leave me to lead your life, remembering not the former things, then light will shine, vanishing night. Take a deep breath. Do remember the signs of my second coming. Take nothing for the journey. I've provided for everything. Don't worry, take nothing, but take courage. It's the only thing you need. And it is that kind God at that moment comforted me after my prayer of lamentation. So, dear brother and sister, I can just encourage you to experience that prayer of lamentation. Talk with God openly. He is there and He will renew your strength, give new perspective, hope, and help you to continue your way. God bless you. Amen.